Hi teachers, the purpose of this video is to walk you through day 5 of week 3 of our unit building community. And the reason we have this video is because day 5 looks very different from days 1 through 4. So we're giving a little bit more of an explanation of how to facilitate this session with your students. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go through each moment of the lesson and then some reminders about additional resources. So you will start on this introduction slide. You can review with students your essential question and let them know that they are building up with their day 5 work. They're building towards a bigger project about community. And then also review with them the lesson objectives here below in the pink box. The structure that we've been using is having students read out loud those lesson objectives, so you can continue that if that's been working with you and your group. Then you'll do a review with them of what was learned in days 1 through 4, and this is a list of the different lesson objectives that they've seen before. So again, you can review this with them in whatever way makes sense to you, either to read it out loud, have them read it, have them explain it in their own words, and then you can remind them of the text we've been using, Mariposas, and The Christmas I Will Never Forget, which is Brandon's story, both of which are linked here on this slide. And then you have, of course, your academic vocabulary, also linked to dictionary definitions on the web. And you can review with students that focused vocabulary if that feels helpful. So after the review slide, you're going to have the activate slide, and this reminds students of what they did in sessions 1 through 4. So as you might recall, one of the supports we've included has been examples for students, so you could modify to include some examples of how they might respond to the see, remember, and wonder prompts. And highlighted here, remember, because in the days 1 through 4, it's think, and then it's changed here to remember. The idea is that students will see these images, which are screenshots of previous lessons, and then kind of recall from their background knowledge, their prior learning, what it was that they were participating in and practicing this previous week to get them ready for today's activity. So again, some scaffolds or supports could be reviewing with students the prompts and then going over any examples you can come up with before they begin to generate their own. So after your activate slide, you'll have a model of what students are going to create. So students in this session are going to be writing a poem about someone that they're going to interview. So they will use the information from the interview to write the poem. It's called a biography poem. The model on this page is all about Malala, who students might have learned about. And again, you have here the responses to her interview questions, which end up forming the lines to the poem, which is her biography poem. So students can look at this and get a sense of what it is they're working towards for this session. The scaffold is from the previous session with Brandon, his mother, and generating interview questions. So students might recall doing this work earlier. The idea here is the scaffold gathers all the information and the language for students to construct their poem. So when students have their interview questions formulated here based on this prompt or this focus word, and then they get the answer in their interview, and then here you have the lines of your poem. So the idea here is for students, again, to use this to help them build their poem up. And as a reminder, again, this was from day 4, the previous session. It might look familiar because that was their after the reading activity. So on day 5, they can use that work from the after the reading activity to begin their poem. So then you'll get to the project slide. This is where students will actually do their writing. You have a certain layout that students can use to organize. So here they're inserting a picture of the person they interviewed. Here they have the name of the person. And then here's where they would begin to write their lines. I did on the next one another exemplar that I might actually write out to students so they can see me constructing the various lines of the poem in real time. So again, you could use this support for them to model it, to model how to begin, how to insert the photo, how to write the name, and then begin writing the lines of the poem and transferring from their scaffold. That could be an additional support for them to see exactly how that process will go. So that is going to be the flow for the session. And as a reminder, you have additional resources to help explain some of the finer points of teaching for this unit. That's going to be here linked in the teacher's guide below in the note for teachers. On the first slide, the document here that's linked, and then we have it also open here. So the teacher's guide will have some additional explanations.
It also might clarify for you how the lessons, especially the day 5 lessons, will lead up to the week 5 of the unit. So hopefully this has been helpful to explain how day 5 fits in with week 3. Good luck facilitating the projects with your students, and we will see you again for week 4.